Oh dear. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. What are we doing today? It's a productivity sprint, a stream with sprints in it. I'm rapidly changing my banner here. Welcome to Final Friday. It's the final Friday of April. So I do productivity streams on the first Friday of the month and the final Friday of the month. And it's freezing here, not literally. But I did catch some raindrops on the drive back from the bakery. And that's crazy. Raining in April in California is crazy. So, my fingertips are purple and I've got a heater next to me and I'm in 3 layers of a scarf. So and socks with sandals because it's springtime. Go crazy. Anyway, my name is Margaret Pennard. I'm a historical fiction writer and eclectic reader. And I'm going to share my current reads with you as well as do some work with you during some sprints today for a couple hours. So, how is everybody doing? And what are you planning on working on while you're here? Let's see, we had some activity before. I'm right next to the street, so I get to hear everyone walking by. This is 2 older ladies with roller bags. Thankfully, the saw is not going next door. Jim said 6 likes already, and Elaine was here to say hello, and I don't know, telling me I'm popular, so that's gonna bring the wrath of the gods down on me. Thanks, Elaine. Ben came in. Bob again before I have to wander away again. Apparently, there is something afoot over on, I think, Cottage Goth. Lunacia is the channel, and Ven may be over there for a little conversation, which is fun. We've got, Literary Love 123. Hello, hello. I think you just celebrated a birthday as well. So happy birthday. And Mojo waiting to see if it snows here again. Okay, well, we've got rain because it's the end of times, and Monique has got snow. But it's Poland, so I feel like there's always snow. Maybe I'm wrong. Katpa is here. Hello, good morning. I could not handle the temperatures here. No, I have never lived in a continental climate type place. I was in Paris for the beginning of winter, and that was pretty cold. I've been in DC for several years, but that's not continental. That's just like humid, kind of like a wetlands. I've never been in the middle of a country that has vast sort of storms and fronts and everything. I've always stuck to near a coast, except for Paris. So, and I'm talking about Paris because Daniela has me thinking of my time there. I just watched her tag, the places you could go, you will go. And she talks about being in Paris and how formational that was. So yeah. JC is here. Good morning. Hello, JC. Good afternoon for you. Oh, we are chatting books, maybe. Yeah, I know it's a maybe because last time I saw you, there was a lot of book discussion. I get distracted easily. Yeah, but some of those rabbit holes are really interesting. That video you sent about the transport system was very cool. Literary Love. I'm cleaning and listening to the audiobook of Senseless by Ronald Malfi. I don't know that one. I also need to work on an abstract for a conference. And plan for the fall semester. Obey. Yeah, thanks for the birthday wishes. Yay. Unique says, rereading book 5 of one of my rewrites. Gotta fly to the US, so trying to get as much done as possible without the internet. Rereading a book to rewrite. Okay. Well, one of my tasks today is going to be, I think, taking the list of research things that I had and writing it out, and then trying to figure out when I'm going to bat down those tasks. For the past little bit, I've been sort of drifting along, responding and reacting because a lot of stuff has been going on. but I'd like to try to set up a plan for these to get some movement going, to get some progress going. Elaine says, trade you, Margaret. Plumbing work here. Day 2, neighbor banging and pounding. Yeah, well, when you have 2 neighbors doing it, then you can come back. Guess we got one this way and one that way. It's great. Monique says, we hit 70s and now the temps are dropping. Supposed to be getting cold air from Finland. Blame Finland. Yeah, I'm all for that. That's crazy. April. It's almost May. I mean, people get snow in May. It's a surprise. It's weird. It's the end of times. What can I say? Hi, Jim. Good evening. Cat Paw says, same. Next door is building something, hacking up the concrete floor of their patio just below my window. Oh my God, that is awful. Because when you hack up a concrete floor, you have to use either one of those, like driver, whatever those are called, pile drivers, or a saw in concrete, which is a really piercing high screech. Or, maybe both. Maybe you're lucky enough to get both, Cat Paw. Monique says, have a series of 14 books at 30,000 each and expanding them to at least 75,000. Oh my gosh, that's a huge project. Told someone I'd finish July 31st, so now I gotta kick it into gear. Oh dear. That's a lot. 14 books and you're gonna make them more than twice as long? How are you gonna do that? Are you changing it from like young adult to adult, or like how? Oof, that makes my head hurt. And my head's already hurting, so don't do that. Elaine says, yikes, our silly neighbor put in a concrete driveway years ago, so start of work breaking through concrete. Yeah, that does sound miserable. And Elaine says, caught up on Goodreads. Woohoo, 23 out of 25 done. Set the bar low. Yeah, I don't do a Goodreads goal. I don't know that I've done a Storygraph goal. I kind of put up the goal as soon as I'm almost about to reach it. Last year, I actually hit a gross, which I had never done before. I usually do it at about 115 books in a year. And so, yeah, I'm not out for quantity. It doesn't really, unless it's like a cool number, like 144. That was cool because it's like a square, because I'm a square. But otherwise, what's a number for me? Not a big deal. Navyadisha Kashyap. Hello. Welcome. We are just chatting a little bit before we go into a little productivity time. So if you have any work to do or want a body doubled, I don't know, hang out with. I don't do music or anything cool like that. I just put a timer up and rely on you to do your best. So we're very low tech here. Margaret, you just described what was happening here yesterday. Jackhammer. Pile driver? Jackhammer. Either one. Yeah, I don't know the terms of tools. Monique says, contemporary romance, and as long as I can sit in the chair for 8 hours, it takes me about 2 weeks. Huh. But how do you make a contemporary romance longer? Add a subplot? Start earlier? Add another twist? Like, what are you doing for each one? Because 14 books in a few months, that's like, are you doing the same thing to each one? That's really hard. Jim says, I am 4 books behind my Goodreads target. Finished 18 books this year. Nice. I'm way behind if I was going by like my average of the last few years. It is what it is. Elaine is going to do some journaling and then read Queen of the Damned. Very nice. And thumbs up. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to put my timer thing. We're going to start at 10 minutes after the hour and we'll go for 25, which means we'll go till 5. I can do the math. Okay. So yeah, we'll get that ready. And I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear like all the lovely congestion talking. Monique says, add plots, add 2 to 3 characters that will pop in in other books. Oh, okay. Oh, so you've got a whole like red string diagram about like who's being added. That's fun. And Jim says my target is half a gross, so half 144.77, right? Maybe. um, it looks like it, right? That's magic thinking. It's what a lot of people are indulging in these days. All right, so it's 10 minutes after the hour. Let's sprint for 25 minutes, and I'll pop up and talk to you what you accomplished then. Okay. 72. That was close. That's not the mute button. Okay. How did that go? I just did a terrible job on a block calligraphy letter, so um I spent that sprint calendaring. So yeah, I use a blank journal that has dots in it, and I hadn't done anything for May, so I needed to write in all the days and give myself some planning pages. So I just spent time blocking that out and figuring out what I had to plan for, and sent an email. And I don't know, I think I did one other thing. What did you guys do in that 25-minute chunk of time? I saw a Melissa come in. Hello. Jim also said 72 books a year is 6 books a month. Monique laughed at my inability to do math. That was very rude. Or no, actually, you were probably laughing at me not being able to mute and taking myself off the screen because I did that first. All right. So Elaine says Margaret, head movement reminds me of Jeopardy and music. That could possibly be what was in my mind as well. That's Saw. Come on, ladies. All right. So I asked Melissa about the cold. We had an Emma Bennett. Hello, hello. She booped the like button. Melissa said, it's a lovely, cool, rainy, dreary day in Oklahoma. It's supposed to be like this for a few days, a rarity here. So I'm leaning in as much as I can. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that. I know it's brief. Oh, Eva is here. The reminder reminded me. This sounds like a Dr. Seuss thing. Normally, I forget to look where the reminders remind me. So I forgot what I forget. So I forget what I forgot. But this time, no, I remembered. I like that. Welcome, welcome. We just finished our first sprint. Hi, Jocelyn. Hello, hello. And hellos. All right, Ven's tottering off. Have a great stream. Thank you, thank you. We're asking how everyone's doing, saying have a good one. Oh, and Eva brought up that the poetry stream is this weekend. Jocelyn says, yep, I think that's what that's in response to. And we're asking how we're doing. And Eva says, the poetry stream is a little treat to look forward to after my task list is done. Are you sure you're Eva? Yes. Okay. Poetry stream is this Sunday. Excellent. Eva says, poetry is about all I've written this year, but I don't know if anything is shareable. I tend to write and then ignore for a very long time. This sounds very familiar. Yes. Kappa says, working on Time Shift, added about 500 words so far today. Is that one of those apps that erases your words if you don't keep writing? That's what it sounds like. Either that or it sounds like Timeline, that epic early 2000s movie that I have on DVD with Gerard Butler. Eva says, May is when I start doing things again, I think. Oh, I've been calling it May as well with the list I have started. Oh, that's brilliant. I like that. May as well. Get it done. Literary Love 123. I did some laundry and made it 22% into senseless. Well done. I like doing laundry. It's very, what's it called? Terminable. You know, interminable means that something goes on forever. Like the laundry is definitely terminable. You do one load, you do 2 loads, you hang it up, you fold it, it's done. And then I have like a week in between. Some of you may not have that like period in between, so it does feel interminable. But Eva says, I've been so focused on house organization, family gatherings, and getting the yard cleaned up these last weeks. Okay. Well, how does it look? I know springtime usually is not when things are looking their best because they're big raked over and redone. So I wouldn't expect it to look all done, but I saw a really good swing photo, so I know the swing's working. Melissa says, I use my productivity sprint to get a jump on some weekend chores. I'll do that again for the next sprint, and then I'll make lunch. Sounds really good. Yeah, Monique was laughing about the mute. All right, and she made a couple of tweaks to a chapter. Excellent. I can't remember where this was being discussed, but we were talking about character names, and I was like, I have a lot of character. Oh, it was probably Cat Paw. Talking about numerology and names. I have a lot of characters to name, and since Jim pointed out that so many of them have O names in the first book, I'm like, ooh, I can't do that again. That was definitely unconsciously done. So, yeah, I'm trying to be careful, but also still give them the significance that I want. So, interesting. That should be one of the tasks. It probably is. Eva says, that weather sounds lovely, Melissa. It rained this morning here. Now it's warming up. Boo. Well, I was surprised to see it actually rain. Usually we just get coastal fog and it burns off, and then it comes back in the evening and the winds kick up. And this time when I was coming back, I was looking at the clouds going, those look like rain clouds. And in fact, it did rain. I had my wipers on full speed, not energetic, frenetic speed, but full speed. And yeah, it was crazy. I was like, thank you for washing my car. It needed it. Yes, I'm enjoying it before it inevitably heats up here too. Well, we've had overcast for like a week, so I don't know if it's going to heat up. It gets up to 70. It says, how about not? Which is fine. I just needed to know that a month and a half ago when I packed, so that I would have brought my gloves and my sweatshirt instead of like light layers. Oh well. He was laughing. Jim says, I'm reading Leave No Trace, a police procedural where they are using an AI entity with a cynical DCS to solve a murder. Detective Chief Superintendent? It's not Sergeant, right? An AI entity with a cynical DCS. So you have two characters, one's AI, or the AI entity has the mind of a cynical DCS. Because sometimes it's, what is that called? Altered memory? I can't remember what that trope is called in sci-fi, but Catpaw says, hey. No, it's the title of my spec-fic manuscript. Oh, Time Shift! Okay. It sounded like an app. Everything's an app these days. Nice. Eva says, it looks like crap, but such an improvement. Yeah, well, that's what it's supposed to look like in spring, so you're right on track. We've got a JK Lambo. Hello, saying hello. Eva says, Catpod did numerology for my name, and it was such fun. I do recommend. It's a paid service. Yeah, so like tip jar and paid service for some of the cool things that Catpod knows how to do. That's really cool. And Eva says, yesterday my AC wasn't keeping it as cool as it was set to keep it, which isn't typical. Uh-oh. So I'm nervous the AC is broken or breaking. We'll see shortly. It's now 73 outside. We keep it 70 inside. Wow. Everyone's got such different like comfort parameters with temperature. It's an interesting I don't know what forms that. Probably like when you grow up and what your normal was set as. But also probably like if you have any conditions that you're wrestling with. But yeah, when it comes to heating bills or air conditioning bills or whatever it is, and the temperatures, I am astonished by some other scales people use. Yeah. All right. So I was right on the DCS. Okay. And the AI entity is called Locke and can appear as a hologram, but he has no filter, which causes problems. Interesting. Usually AIs are nothing but filters. It's like a menu where you say this, enable this, exclude this. It's like a search term, right? So that's an interesting what's that word I'm looking for? Not a theorem, postulate? Theory? So somewhere in there from geometry is trying to come back and get me. Yay! And Catpaw, you can drop the link if you want, because I think I'd have to go back through Instagram, and I'm gonna be rounding into the next sprint right now. So Let me change the whole camera. 25 is going to be. I can do that. See? All right, so another 25-minute little sprint here, and I'll mute myself so you don't have my voice in your head. I'm probably going to continue with the planning, and then hopefully on this one jump into the research priorities for the book, self-editing style. All right, see you in 25 minutes. Okay. How was that? I just made it. I had to finish one. I mean, I'm not finished with the post, but okay, I finished the calendaring. I'm getting to the end of this lovely book. I just peep the sticker, peep the stickers. Um, at the end of June. So I'll get 2 more months of this lovely thing, and then I get to choose a new color planner, which is always fun. So I did that. I did some journaling, which is when Jack thought I was asleep. I was not. How did you do? Second sprint done, and we're in the second half of our stream. I'll pop this up here. So if you're new here, let me know if you have any announcements, things coming up, things you're promoting that are time sensitive. We love to feature them here. How did we do? Yeah, I'm not sure how this works. So Eva was talking about setting the temperature for the thermostat. And then she said, hoping to snag some new screens this spring so we could try living without AC maybe. I don't know that screens aren't going to do it. Otherwise, the costs without using AC all the time, no idea. Never tried it. Yeah, we don't have AC in this old house. So I mean, we do have a basement. If it gets really unbearable, we'll have to like clean up the basement, go down there for relief. All right, Jocelyn's still here. Excellent. And I did mention the planner in June, which was unplanned, which is fun because it's half the year. I started this one a while ago. It's taken me a while. So I think it's gone over 2 years. March 2024. So March, April, May, June. So a year and 4 months. That's almost a year and a half. Not bad. They're thick. They're mighty little look term planners. And yes, that's about this. Just in case. Like I don't want to be without my tools. And this is a big freaking tool to carry, but you know. I didn't break into it that sprint, so we'll see. Cat Paw says, I don't know what my laptop has against Instagram, but it will not let me in like ever. It's the blue post that says, what's in a name? And I'm Cat Paw Writes on there. Yeah. Well, my phone just logged me out of Blue Sky and I like didn't remember my name. So I was just like, whatever. I don't need to be on Blue Sky on my phone. I go through the browser instead of downloading different apps on my phone. So yeah. Hi, Jack. Welcome, Sci-Fi Finds, to the conversation. Elaine is back. She says, hi, all. Busy stream day. 3 on the go. Yeah, I try to keep it consistent. Monique says, okay, gotta call it a night. Last feeding for the cats and bedtime for me. Yeah, one of the things I was journaling about is that we took one of my mom's dogs, she's 2, to the spay neuter clinic, and that was an early drop off, and then bringing her back in the afternoon, and she was so pitiful looking. So the cone is on, and she was still kind of dopey. So she was like, every time her cone would hit something, she'd be like, okay, I gotta stop. What's wrong? What's wrong? She was just like giving up. So thanks for coming, Monique. Good night, Mojo. Eva says, JC, link the poetry stream. So yeah, it's announcement time. So I'm giving this like little break for announcements, and then I'll go quickly through my current reads because they're all pretty good. Catpaw says, I crunched the numbers for a side character for part 3. Ooh, the numbers. What numbers are you crunching for a character? Is it like biographical detail about how old they are when something happens? I could see that. I can't open my windows without screens, I mean. Oh, okay. So if you were opening your windows, you could get like a cross breeze at certain times a day. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I mean, I could, but birds, squirrels, and raccoons and bugs and things. Okay. I gotcha. All right. So JC's going to give us the link. She was away from the laptop. Jim says there's been a second murder in the book I'm reading. Oh, I thought you were going to say in the world, and I was a little disturbed. In the book. Okay, so the AI and the DCS are dealing with a second murder. Okay. That's a chunky notebook. I mean, I think it's pretty standard, but I made it chunkier with my little washi tape on the sides for each new month. So instead of tabs, I've got one tab because I have extra tags. Like I had this at the beginning to track all the tags that I'm doing, but then it ran out of space and I needed more. So I've got another whole page of tabs. I'm like 8 or 9 behind. Yay. Okay. So JC's dropped the link in the chat. Usually it's JC and Morgan doing poetry open mic and also reading and inviting people to share. So that's great. Sunday, what time? Always helpful. Jim says tomorrow is the 100th anniversary of the publication of Kafka's The Trial. Oh man. And this makes me think of someone's thumbnail. Not thumbnail. It was Talamika on Instagram, and they had a post that said something like 3 L's in one day for Donald. And it was talking about court losses. How's your day going? And I was like, yay! I can't wait to read what he got dunked on, because that makes me happy. Eva says, I think Sunday's a new moon too. Excellent. It's April. Oh yeah. April, new moon in Scorpio, right? The moon is in Scorpio. I mean, it's a April Taurus, but like I think it's something about the opposite because I remember I actually watched a few astrology podcasts from Renee this month because I was interested because there's a big Uranus change that only comes once in your lifetime. And I was like, so something happened in 2018 and it's finishing now. So I've been thinking about that. Literary Love 123. I cleaned a bathroom and made it 25% into senseless. Okay, so we went from 22 to 25. I think the bathroom probably took a lot of muscle power, so well done. Numerology numbers. Oh, duh. For a side character. Okay. When I do math for a character, it's like trying to figure out how old they are when things happened. And if I ever give them a birthday, I have to note it so that I mention it again and I'm consistent. Also, if anyone wants to watch the previous poetry open mic streams, here's the playlist. Excellent. Yeah, playlists are helpful. That's really cool. Eva says, that's the level of shocking news I like to hear. Exactly. Oh, and Elaine says, I need to get in touch with you about numerology. Sounds good. Do it. Okay, and the time for the poetry stream is Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. For me, that's 2 p.m. Pacific. There we go. And Cat Paw's got their link on Instagram. Sweet. Oh, Melissa was so caught up in her chores, I didn't realize the sprint had ended. Good progress. Now I'm pretty excited about lunchtime. Woohoo! Okay, 20. So I'm going to give myself 6 minutes to just flash through my current reads to share with you all because they're pretty exciting. Rituals for Climate Change, a Crip. Is that right? Nope. There we go. A Crip Struggle for Eco Justice by Naomi Ortiz. I just saw she is doing an event on Instagram. So very cool. This book is mainly a poetry memoir, and I'm reading it to prepare for a discussion about disability and climate change. So Melissa was my first guest talking about human trafficking in January and climate change. And so for May, I'm going to be talking with Victoria Stevens from Victoria Writes Stuff, Read Stuff. I can never remember which one she put on her channel because it's different from platform to platform. But she wanted to come on and talk, which is exciting, about disability and climate change. So since I knew nothing about that topic and that intersection, I'm reading some really good reflections. Also, her other book, Sustaining Spirit, is really good. I think I connected with that more immediately. And then when I came back to this book, I was like better able to understand, or maybe it's just because I'm further in, but a little past halfway. Really, really good. So stay tuned for the date for that. I just asked her when she wanted to come on. Then I've also got a couple good chapters into this. We started out with The Gods with Maiden of Artemis by Eloise Barr, fellow author tuber. And now we're into the commencement of the action in the human sphere. And then I think a god stepped in. So I am on page 38 for that one. And that's pretty cool. Indie author. This is reading for Herkyed. So Climathon, Herkyed. And then, oh, sorry. Just pay no attention to the allergies in the corner. And the last one I'm really reading is the book 2 of the series for Herkyed by Amanda Scott called Boudica, Dreaming the Bowl. Series title. And so far it's pretty sad, pretty heartbreaking, but like so tense, so actiony, so good. So, current reads. And what about you guys? What about you guys? Are you excited about anything April ending? Anything ending with April that you're excited about? Did you do anything for Earth Month? Shakespeare Day? Charlotte Bronte's birthday? There's lots of cool days in April. So, this book looks great. I'm looking forward to listening to that chat. I think you're talking about the first one, maybe? So, yeah, it's really, I read one of the, it's like a page and a half. I read it to my mom yesterday and she liked it too. It was about hummingbirds. She lives in Arizona in the desert, I believe, and talks a lot about her relationship with the desert and her relationship with her body and how both have changed and how she's reprioritizing her values and her centering of like how she behaves with others and how she prioritizes herself. It's all really good, all really thoughtful. New moon is in Taurus. Why am I thinking there's something with Scorpio then? My moon is in Scorpio, so there was something that was like opposite. Well, that's why it just sort of flows by me. All right. So announcements, we got the poetry stream, we got the truth and reconciliation discussion about disability coming up in May. My last Sunday stream in April, this Sunday is going to be climate related. So I'll probably talk about some of the books I've been reading for Climathon. I don't have any particular theme. Maybe I'll think of one. I've got 2 whole days. Oh, and the other exciting event, of course, I keep reminding people to support Independent Bookstore Day. So please, please, please ignore the fact that there's an Amazon book sale and buy an indie book. Like, please. They're trying to hone in on the one day a year that we get to celebrate. And it's like, gross. I definitely feel the energy of Cher and Clueless, where she pushes off Breckenmeyer, the skateboarder, and it's like, as if. So please take that energy with you into the weekend and do what you can to support indie bookstores and make sure one near you hears that you want them to continue being a light in the community, because I think they really are. All right. Jim says April was National Poetry Month. Oh, have you cashed in on that, JC? Have you put that in your tags and in your promotion? Maybe you have. Maybe I missed it. And then Elaine says my dragon book tag is getting around. Woohoo! Awesome. Yeah, I think I watched. Oh no, it wasn't yours. It wasn't the dragon one. It was Daniela's. I referred to this at the very beginning. Oh, the places you'll go tag, which Gareth started. And it was from a few days ago. And Gareth hadn't commented. So I was like, oh, see, his tag's getting bigger than him and he can't catch up on people's comments. Anyway, excellent. Excellent news. Like I said, I'm like 9 or 10 behind. So we'll have to do some triple tags again in the coming months. Exciting. Okay, final sprint, third sprint. We'll start at 25 after, do 25 and end at 50 for a last minute. Here we go. And I'll mute myself and conclude with you all in 25 minutes. There we go. Jesus. I felt like I was holding my breath. I was 2 minutes early when I finished, and I'm like, my brain's done. But now I gotta wait for everyone else to be respectful of the boundaries that I have already set for the group. All right, we've done our third and final sprint. How'd everybody do? And what are you currently reading? What are you currently jazzed about since it's Jazz Appreciation Month? I did not get very far. I finished the post for the magazine. I did go back to the thing that I originally thought I would be doing. I got as far as writing some of the questions from my digital note onto my notebook, and that is it. My mind is just not ready to settle in for that because it's a lot of research and I need to go down rabbit holes to find answers to these questions. Like, what were the layers of nunware? Like, I have a site that tells about the layers of nunware, but it's not very specific. I don't mean like specific as to the clothes. I mean specific as to the setting where my book is. So I don't know that it's like actually gonna feel right. So anyway, rabbit holes for later. I'm heading into lunch in a little bit, so not what my brain was ready to engage with. So then I did a little dance with the pens. This is a cool one someone turned me on to at the gym, actually. Sharpie makes really good ballpoint pens recently. And then at the architecture bookshop that I went to here, I found another one. You know, they have the same kind of stationery stuff that every fancy book place will have, but they had a pen called Food, Fude, Fude, or like Rude. Anyway, it was the one I hadn't seen before, and it looked pretty good, and it's pretty thick. Like, it's a thick running pen. So that was an exciting new discovery. I got myself a $3 pen, just pulling out all the stops. Watch out. But yeah, we had some last comments to cover, and then we'll finish up for the day. So Kat Paw said Joanna Penn uploaded several of her books for writers onto YouTube. I guess that's in audio form. My fave is Writing the Shadow. So good. I have 2 copies from when it was released. Nice. Yeah, Joanna Penn is not just an independent author. She's like the mother of dragons of independent authors. So JF Penn started a nonfiction series, started the original podcast, started a fiction series. Super personality, like knew how to do everything before it was cool, helped others up on the ladder. Like, she's pretty great. I don't know where she is at the moment because she has a British accent, but I think she might have been like moving lately. I don't know. Tell me if anyone that rings a bell for anyone else. Elaine said, "Okay, off to see if Ben and Luna are talking books yet. Have a great one, all. Thank you, Elaine. Have a lovely day." Cat Paw says, "Let me just feed the cats so they stop trying to climb onto the keyboard." Good. I hope that was accomplished. Cat, why is it not letting me click? It's not letting me. Okay, there we go. Jesus. See, StreamYard quality keeps going down, and yet now they're requiring us to advertise them. Nope. Kat says, "Hey, Margaret, working on items on my to-do list." Excellent. From Kat's Novel Adventures. I showed off my number crunching because this notebook is the one for the book, and I had all my dates of the live events of my main character, which is very exciting. Cat Paw says, "Yeah, I do some of that too. Historical events turned on their head. Interesting. Well, for Time Shift, yeah, that would be cool." JC says, "Heading out to run some errands, but have a wonderful day." Thank you, JC. See you on Sunday. I'll probably pop in for a bit. Happy writing or reading. Sounds good. Jim said, "I've reached halfway in the novel." Okay, I guess I didn't see the ending of the poll. I voted for Cryptonomicon, but apparently I was outvoted, and you're focusing on maybe the shortest one. People were saying they like to focus on the shortest or the one that they've made the most progress in. That's what I tend to do. If I have a bunch of books and I want to finish some of them, I'll focus on the one that I'm closest to the end. That seems pretty obvious. Kat says, "I'm eating lunch while listening to Imaginary Friend and creating a thumbnail." Imaginary Friend or Friends? There's probably a different one called Imaginary Friend, but that makes me think of My Imaginary Friends, which is Leslie Penelope's podcast. So yours is probably very different. It's probably horror related. Literary Love 123. I cleaned my other bathroom and made it 28% into senseless. Wow. Maybe it's just a really long book if you're only getting 3% in 25 minutes. I'm looking for more chores to do so I can keep listening. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, that's good. That's good. I unfortunately have lost my headphones somewhere between Sacramento, where I know I use them, and San Luis, where I can't find them anywhere in any of my books or bags or boxes. So they're probably back up there. And so I haven't been able to listen to anything except on my desktop, which is seriously a crimp in my style for audiobooks. But yeah, it's good to do with chores for sure. It's a good combo. Melissa says, good sprint. Just sat down to some chili and grilled cheese. Oh, what a good combination. Excellent. And Capo says, I feel like 2 chapters that are zero drafts that need to be rewritten. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Oh, okay. Capo does know Joanna Penn is in Bristol, UK. All right. I know where Bristol is. I had that impression she moved around for some reason. Kat says, Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky, horror book. Okay, it is horror related. See, not far from the horseshoe, not far from the ring on that one, or whatever the metaphor is. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Leslie Penelope is talking about books and writing. And yeah, I figured that wouldn't be the one that was close, but yeah. Cool. Well, let's see. I've got one more banner, which is to say thank you everyone for joining with me for a couple hours on the final Friday of the month. I am here first Fridays and final Fridays for productivity. If I use it stintingly or rarely, then it still kind of works for me. I think if I do it too many times, the magic wears off. So if that is also your deal, I don't know, is that a diagnosable condition? If that is also your deal with the magic and the productivity, you can join me next Friday on May. See, I was doing the calendars and then I got mixed up. May 1st. It's the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30, 1, 2, the 2nd of May. That's someone I know's birthday. So if you want to join me on May 2nd for the first Friday of May, we'll do some more productivity. Otherwise, I'll be talking climb-a-thon on Sunday at my regular sprint time. But in general, you can find me Sundays and Wednesdays for bookish opinions. All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope you got some good work done, feeling a little motivated, and now can give yourself a break, hydrate, walk around, do some stretches, make sure you're in your body and taking care of yourself, everybody. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.